It was the only reason I wanted to do the last season, to be able to do this long piece. We had a lot of setbacks while we were shooting it.
You would be wrong to assume that Alda was the consummate actor from M.A.S.H. Actually, there was a co-star with whom he had incessant disagreements and just could not stand throughout the show's airing. For a long time, many people preferred watching the M.A.S.H. series. It was hilarious, engaging, and educational all at once, until it wasn't. When did the show lose its comedic edge? Out of everyone on set, who did Alda despise the most? Was it a crew member? Get ready, because we're going to spill the beans on all these hidden details about the program that you may not have known before, along with the answers to your most urgent questions. Alda and Jackie Cooper had a tense relationship in M.A.S.H.'s second season, albeit the reason for it is unclear. They didn't get along because they had different views on how things should be done, according to several people who hated them. How is it that these folks believe Jackie Cooper was the showmate with whom Alda had the most trouble? I mean, Jackie had zero screen time over the entire season. Former child star turned episode director Jackie Cooper was overly regimented and stifled the performer's creativity, according to Alda, who portrayed Hawkeye Pierce. Because he wanted the program to be fantastic, he was also irritated that Jackie didn't take it seriously. However, Jackie Cooper found Alda to be an uncooperative colleague. According to him, Alan was the type of person who would rather do things his own way than consider alternative viewpoints. In Jackie's opinion, Alan failed in his role as director because he attempted to micromanage the sequences too much. As far as anyone can tell, there was a power struggle due to divergent opinions on how to operate the event. In Season 2 of M.A.S.H., tensions arose between Alan and Jackie since they both had strong views and didn't always see eye to eye. Could Alan's distaste for Jackie be attributed only to their divergent viewpoints? Did it go beyond that, though? What if we take some time to get to know the program before we dive into that? A well-known television series, M.A.S.H. was adapted from a novel. From 1972 until 1983, it was broadcast. The show's title originates from the fact that it chronicles the exploits of soldiers serving in a mobile army surgical hospital during the Korean War. A lot of people liked the show since it had both comedic and dramatic elements. The heroes of M.A.S.H. were a team of medical professionals who collaborated to treat injured soldiers and keep them alive. Despite everything they went through, they maintained an optimistic outlook and made the most of every situation. War, death, and the human cost of combat were some of the serious topics covered by the program, which was also famous for its comedy and wit. Actor Alda's portrayal as Hawkeye Pierce was a fan favorite. No matter how serious the issue, this brilliant surgeon never failed to have a joke ready. One such well-liked character was Wayne Rogers' trapper John McIntyre, who portrayed Hawkeye's sidekick and accomplice in Mischief. Loretta Swit, head nurse Margaret Houlihan, and Jamie Farr, cross-dressing Corporal Maxwell Klinger, were two of the other notable members of the show's supporting ensemble. There was a wide range of personality types and eccentricities represented by the show's many characters. The show's mastery at balancing comedic and dramatic elements is one of its defining features. Even within the same episode, it has the potential to evoke both laughter and tears. Many found meaning in the program because it dared to address heavy topics and delve into profound emotions. Without a doubt, M.A.S.H. was an innovative television series that captivated and motivated countless people. Thanks to its timeless message of perseverance in the face of tragedy, as well as its wisdom and compassion, it has endured as one of the most adored series of all time. Was this piece of information on the cast known to you? Henry Blake's eventual co-star McLean Stevenson had originally hoped to portray Hawkeye. So he had aspirations of playing Hawkeye Pierce, the astute and humorous physician played by Alda. What if Stevenson had portrayed Hawkeye instead of Henry Blake? It's an intriguing thought to ponder. How might the characters' relationships have turned out differently? Would Stevenson have given the part more of an edge than Allen? Actors frequently have dream parts or parts they think they would be good at, like Stevenson did with Hawkeye. Actors sometimes fantasize about playing specific roles or have a predisposition for specific kinds of characters. Before becoming part of the group, a few of the performers had genuine combat experience. Jamie Farr and Alan Alda, for instance, were both actually from military families. After serving in the U.S. Army, Jamie Farr became recognized for his part as Corporal Maxwell Klinger. After the Korean War ended, he served for 2 years in the military, first in Japan and then in Korea. While playing his role on the program, Farr probably drew on the invaluable insights he gained from his real-life military duty on the lives of troops. In a similar vein, Alan Alda, who played Hawkeye Pierce, Captain Benjamin Franklin on M.A.S.H, had prior military service. Alan became a member of the Army Reserve after completing his studies at New York's Fordham University. His stint in the military would have shaped his grasp of the military ethos and culture, even though few people knew the specifics of his service. The fact that Farr and Allen were both veterans gives their M.A.S.H performances a genuine edge. Their authentic understanding of military life would have enhanced their ability to depict individuals within a conflict. Even the co-star admits that she and Allen had rocky relations. Take a guess. Who might it be? Some fans believe Mike Farrell was Allen's archenemy on the show, while others believe Jackie. Why? Considering how cutthroat they are with one another on the show. Even Alan Alda's published book, Never Have Your Dog Stuffed and Other Things I've Learned, brought up the rivalry he had with Mike Farrell. The argument that Mike was Alan's adversary is flawed since the two were friends, so their rivalry was friendly. They competed amicably in things like learning to stand on one's hands first. They had a great time working together because of their friendly competition. His physical strength and ability to participate in such activities were probably enhanced by the judo he acquired while serving in the Army, which Allen even acknowledged in his book. We feel obligated to point out that their physical encounters weren't always flirtatious. Farrell would jokingly attempt to trip Allen from behind and knock him down anytime he was told to sit down, Allen noticed. Allen and Farrell also had their share of arguments. An example of this might be a scene when B.J. As far as Farrell was concerned, Honeycutt's character was acting inappropriately. Their commitment to their roles and the personalities they played probably caused them to differ. Put Allen and Mike out of your minds. It's par for the course in Hollywood for performers to turn down parts that may have catapulted their careers or improved their lives greatly. This occurred when comedian Robert Klein turned down the part of Trapper John on the network. Klein passed up the chance to star in the role, even though it would have catapulted her to international stardom. Rather, he went for a comedy career, which he was rather successful at, and he now has about 100 credits to his name. Although passing up the part may have seemed like a wasted opportunity at the time, Klein was able to forge his own unique career path in show business because of his decision. Wayne Rogers, who was cast as Trapper John McIntyre, is another intriguing aspect of M.A.S.H's casting. Rogers, in contrast to the majority of performers, was never legally obligated to M.A.S.H. Because of this, he was not bound by any contracts and could quit the series whenever he wanted. The show's production was very unexpected due to Rogers' flexibility to come and go as he chose. Jamie Farr's portrayal of Klinger is one of the show's most adored characters. Contrary to popular belief, Klinger was only going to make a single appearance throughout the whole series. Additionally, the character was first thought of being gay. Nevertheless, producers opted to retain Klinger as a recurrent character due to the character's profound resonance with spectators. Even if it wasn't the original plan for Klinger's plot, the character's eccentric behavior and distinct personality made him one of the show's most beloved and unforgettable characters. The odd part is that the laughing started to go downhill as M.A.S.H went on. Initially, the producers were adamant on not using a laugh track in order to demonstrate that the show was both humorous and serious. CBS was not on board with the notion, although they did let the filmmakers record certain scenes, like those in the operating room, without laughing. The volume and audibility of the show's laughing gradually decreased during the course of the episode. The laughter was still there, but it was muted and less frequent than before. It was clear from this shift that the program was maturing and taking itself seriously while retaining its comedic tone. September 17, 1972 was the air date of M.A.S.H's debut episode. Gene Reynolds, who took home a trophy for his direction, and Larry Gilbert penned the screenplay. The episode received 2 Emmy nominations, one for writing and one for directing. Considering the episode's eventual popularity, Larry Gilbert's 3-day writing deadline was lightning fast. The amount of praise and prizes that the pilot episode garnered is astounding. The fact that it had such an effect on both the viewers and the staff despite its hasty creation is evidence of it. This following fact was completely unexpected. Some secrets were kept from the cast while the show was being made. For instance, before filming that episode, only Alda was aware that Henry Blake's character was going to die. Until the sequence needed to be filmed, the other actors were unaware of this. Given the character's central role in the program, their discovery must have come as a shock to them. The show also included cameo appearances from famous actors and actresses. Guests on the show included Patrick Swayze, Ron Howard, and Leslie Nielsen, among others. Everyone involved had to have been thrilled to have these prominent performers join the cast, and it certainly didn't hurt the show's popularity. The length of time the concert lasted was another unexpected aspect. In contrast to the 3-year duration of the Korean War, the show aired for a full 11 years, from 1972 to 1983. That's longer than the battle itself, but it demonstrates how engrossed audiences were. There was more than enough material to keep viewers engaged for years, with a total of 256 episodes. Behind the scenes, Alda was also involved in various roles. Along with co-writing 13 episodes, he directed 31. This demonstrates that he has exceptional abilities as a writer, director, and performer. His ability to pull off such a stellar performance on camera while juggling all of these roles is quite remarkable. Recall the bear from Radar? A particular plush bear belonged to one of the characters, Radar, and he played a significant role in the program. Many viewers were left wondering about the bear's fate after the episode aired. Something out of the ordinary occurred after it had been predicted to go missing for 30 years. The bear was discovered at an auction and purchased by actor Gary Berghoff, who portrayed Radar. Owning a prop from the musical he participated in must have been a memorable experience for him. The finding of the time capsule was another intriguing event that transpired following the conclusion of the performance. The characters buried a time capsule in one of the show's last episodes to commemorate their time together. On location where the episode was shot, they hid it. A construction worker unearthed the time capsule months after filming wrapped. The long-awaited discovery of the time capsule must have taken everyone by surprise. It's as if a mysterious artifact from the show's past has been unearthed, bringing back fond recollections of the time spent creating M.A.S.H. A major character in the program was Loretta Swit. Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan was her character, and she appeared in nearly all of the episodes. Only 11 of the 256 episodes did she not appear in. Such a large number of episodes. In addition to appearing in nearly every episode, she was a regular cast member for the whole 11 seasons. Wow, that's an eternity. Swit was one of just 4 actors to remain for the entire performance. She stayed for such a long time on M.A.S.H., she must have enjoyed it. While Swit was fantastic as Major Houlihan, the show's supporting cast was just as vital. They were all memorable, even if some weren't even the primary characters. For instance, the characters were named after the California Angels baseball team in one 1977 episode. That is quite remarkable. That even the supporting cast of M.A.S.H. was meticulously considered is evident. Real-life ex-girlfriend of writer inspired the name of one television character. No one knows for sure who it is, although some suspect it's Patty Haven. The catch is that we have reason to believe that particular figure was not universally well received. Putting that aside, the performers' honesty regarding the show's concepts and storylines increased as the seasons progressed. They likely have firm views on the actions and destinations of their fictional characters. However, the creative team chose to play hardball rather than listen to their suggestions. Despite the sweltering heat, the performers were forced to shoot scenes in bulky winter attire. What would you do in 90 degrees with a parka and gloves? The performers had it bad, but hey, that's just acting. One of the spin-offs that came out after the main series finished focused on Walter Radar O'Reilly. After the battle, Radar returns home in this spin-off, but he has a rough time of it. He becomes a detective after losing his family. The airing of this spin-off was limited to a single episode. Klinger, who is also a character on M.A.S.H, was fortunate in his own way. He was originally meant to make a one-time appearance, but his popularity led the producers to decide to keep him on. As a result, Klinger went from being a one-off appearance to a regular character. These spin-offs demonstrate that fans wanted to see more of some M.A.S.H characters even after the main series finished. Seeing how they carried on with their lives after the war is fascinating. The performers' relationships with the families of their roles is fascinating. Did you notice it? Michael Farrell, who portrayed B.J. Hunnicutt, chose to honor his own daughter, Erin, by naming her character's daughter. In a way, it's a memorial service for his actual relatives. Even if it's only in a fictional setting, naming a character after a loved one is a touching way to honor their memory. Colonel Potter's desk features a photo of his wife Mildred, which is another interesting detail. Are you ready for this? It's a photo of Harry Morgan's actual wife, so it's not just any old photograph. It's as if he carried a small fragment of his own life on the set. The inclusion of such an element lends an air of authenticity and humanity to Colonel Potter's role on the show. He seems to always have a little bit of home with him, even while he's in the thick of the conflict. How about we examine some further show insights now? You May Not Shoot My Dog, Mr. was Jackie Cooper's autobiography. He discussed his time on M.A.S.H with Alan Alda in it. Whenever Alan attempted to insert liberal views into the screenplays, Jackie thought he was trying to force them on him. Alan was asked by Jackie to simply do his role without interjecting any politics. Alan, in his mind, was trying to impose his own views on the program, which Jackie strongly opposed. Jackie served as an episode director for the first 2 seasons. Even though Alan never said it, he sensed that Alan was hostile toward him. Even when Jackie's stint on the program ended, they hardly communicated to each other. The most recent episode wasn't really the latest one. This was followed by filming of an episode titled As Time Goes By. Harry Morgan was one of Loretta Swit's closest friends even after M.A.S.H finished. Alan Alda was the reason McLean Stevenson departed. Alan rose to stardom after first sharing screen time with McLean and Rogers. Most Americans watched the last episode, which made it famous. Donald Sutherland and Aaron Allen sported matching hats in the pilot episode. The laugh track was cut when it was shown in the UK. Hawkeye was never seen with a rifle, and Klinger donned a bridal dress 3 times. The title, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen appeared on screen only in the final episode. In the episode Tuttle, there's a character who isn't really in the show but is credited as portraying himself in the credits. Some outside shots have electrical wires, and some people seem to have an excessive number of Purple Hearts, which is against military protocol. It lasted for 11 seasons till the cast decided to cancel it. The legendary program came to a close with those final credits. At this time, it is all. Were any of these previously unknown to you? Who was the most surprising to you? Can you tell me which episode of the series you enjoyed the most? Please inform us in the space provided. Enjoy rewatching the historic show till next time, because we certainly will.